Hi and welcome again, my name is Kat and today I'm gonna go over my song Get Me High, which I'm really excited about because this song has been out for months now, and when I wrote it I didn't really have a plan to start a new project. So ThelsstofCat was kind of like something that just happened last year. I was not expecting to put the energy for another project, but I also thought I wanted somewhere to share my music and I had missed that, to be honest. So I started this song because I was going through the splice samples. When I found this vocal sample, I immediately felt inspired to start something, and for me it sounded very much like Daft Punk and even jungle a little bit, so I tried to combine a few different versions of the same sample that were available. This was the sample that I started with, so I'll solo it now. Get me high. You give me all that I need. As you can see here, like I had to chop a little bit, but it kind of sounds very much like that if you download this sample. The different part is here on the chops where I've done this. Get me high. There is a sample where the creator of the pack did do their own chops to this, but I wanted it slightly different, so I just tried to combine three different things. And this is what I came up with, so I'm pretty happy with it. I also used this harmony sample, which was available. And that's basically it. That's all the parts that I use. All these different bits that you see is mainly because of different processing and things like that. And this is a sample available on Splice. It's by Dropgun Samples. They do amazing sample packs and serum presets and things like that. I really like it and I use them a lot. Those are the samples. All the vocals have a little bit different processing, but nothing crazy. Like mostly it's just automation or EQ to make it stand out. This bit here with some roar. It's only to make the vocal stand out here on this part on the second drop, like it comes without the drums entirely, so that's why they're there. And then for the chops, it's just a bit of EQ, saturation, and that's it really. I have a little bit of limiting here on the bass, more EQ, sidechain compression. So the second part was to find a loop or to find the instrumental that would go under it. I found this sample. I think in full, it's not that different from what I made, but this is... So slightly different, like nothing crazy, but I still chopped as I needed, and this is, I don't know if you saw that, that's the name of the sample, also from Splice, and I combined the vocal and the chopped version. And so that was the basis of the song, and I immediately added some drums to it. So these are the drums here. It's mostly just like 909 samples or loops and things like that, just to make it as punchy as possible. I've got here the kick in its own group. This was mostly for mixing purposes. There's nothing super original here. This is the kick. It's the same kick I've used in a lot of other songs. It's from this Vintage Drum Machines Volume 3. I've also been using the Ableton samples a lot. You know, they have their own 909 pack. And honestly, it sounds so good, and like with the right processing, it'll be just top notch. Slightly different kick here. More boomy is just because this part here, it's the breakdown. It just needed something a little bit different, and so that's it really. And then a little bit of distressor here for them, just to drive them a little bit. Then I've got a few sample loops, so I've got this clap here, and another one, and another one. This is the main clap sound, and then on one hit it's layered with this one, and another hit it's layered with that one. So this is just so it doesn't always sound the same. An easy way to make the drums sound a bit more interesting, especially electronic drums. They can sound a little repetitive, so you need to try to make it a little bit more interesting. That's it. It's nothing revolutionary. And then I've got here some hi-hats that I've done with a few different samples. That I took from different packs and things. And then I've got a little bit of this, just a little part of a larger loop. So this is a loop by Kashmir. So it has a different groove, and then layered with my hi-hats. It just sounds a little bit better. And then I've got this other drum loop situation. I could have just dropped this sample, and honestly it would have done the trick for this kind of song, because really I was just trying to make it like, so I didn't just drag and drop samples. But I mean, I like layering stuff, so that's why I removed like the low end, and then I think adding a full sample of a full drum kit playing on top of the drums that you created, especially if the sounds are kind of very similar, it really adds something. And it's only like kind of low in the mix, and it just makes it fuller really. So if I remove this, for example, you can hear that it adds something to it. So I like doing that sometimes. And then I have this tambourine loop as well. And I've got this other hi-hat as well. And then I still have this snare here, which is a snare also from the same 909 sample pack that I mentioned previously. So you've got two layers, and they're layered. And so this is layered with the claps, of course. Then for the drum bus, I've got here this EQ Pultec, and then I've got the API as well, a little bit of glue, and a preset from Roar as well. This is called A Bit Warmer. And then at the end, I've got here the inflator, the effect only at 40%. And then at the end, I've got this tape emulator by UAD. So for the bass, altogether it sounds like this. And then it kind of evolves during the song, so every part is a little bit different. So for the chops, it sounds like this. For the piano solo, and then in the verse, it's just long notes as well. So everywhere is a little bit different, and I'm really proud of it. It took me a couple days to do it and to find the right notes, but I was pretty happy with it at the end of making the song. So the first sound is this ample bass. I've only got the light version. This is what it sounds like. So these are the settings. I don't think there's a lot that you can do with the light version, but it sounds good. I added a little bit of EQ and a little bit of DBX 160 compressor, saturator, and then I layered it with this other bass, which is just operator. So this is just for the attack. Again, I was like literally copying what Guy does in one of his songs. I don't remember which song, but like they have their walkthroughs on YouTube. And so I was trying to mimic what they were doing, and then layered with this one, which is the sub. This is just a sine wave on Serum. Nothing crazy here, a bit of filter, and that's it really. On the group bus of the bass, I've got here the distressor, a bit of OTT. This is the preset, comes with Ableton, and then you've got a little bit of EQ just to tame the bass, a bit of glue and the sidechain and utility just to automate the volume throughout the track, because it needs a little bit of control sometimes. And yeah, that was the bass. So for the piano, it's just the Ableton Grand Piano with some reverb and some EQ, and then I also have the LFO to modulate the soft and hard and the tone. Then I've got a bit of EQ as well, a bit of RC20 with this Vinyl One preset. I really like this plugin. A bit of saturation, tape saturation, which is also preset from Ableton. A bit of API, so yeah, quite a bit into this piano to make it really pop out in the mix. Color limiter as well, delay. Then for the verse, it goes into this drop down after the piano. So the drums was that bassy drum I mentioned before, layered with these hi-hats. Bass playing long notes, so. And then this is layered with some of that piano that we used in the drop. So this was programmed in, it's not like from any sample or anything. And then it's layered with this other, I called it mellow chords. So this one is from Analog Lab, and it's this preset called Pianos. I don't own Analog Lab, so you can have this, you can download it for free on the Arturia website, layered with these chords. They're all playing the same thing, and this is just this Juno emulator. The tal is pretty good. This is the preset I used. Altogether, they sound like this. And then I've got this guitar here. This was a sample, and then I chopped up different parts of the sample and I made this new riff. So this is a bounced version of the edit I had made to the sample. And then it transitions into this part. So this is mostly presets, like bells and things like that. This is what the MIDI looks like. And so we've got this first sound here is a Serum preset. So it's a bell sound. And this was inspired by the breakdown in Mali Mali by Disclosure. I was struggling a little bit with the arrangement of the song, and that song came on my playlist, and I thought, oh, let me try to do something along that. And so that's how I came up with this. So I really recommend using someone else's song to try to figure out your own arrangement. And then the second sound is these Rhodes. Also Analog Lab, Rode Signs is what it's called, layered with this other one. Gleaming keys. And later with this kalimba. So these are all presets. I barely, if at all, tweaked anything. I've got these pads here. They actually play throughout the whole verse/breakdown part. This is by the Poly 6, by the Korg Poly 6. This is the preset, layer with the tal as well, with that preset as well. A bunch of automation to make it a little bit more interesting. I guess the last thing is this sound here made with tal, and it's just a single note. Uplifting the last few choruses. Okay, so that was Get Me High. I hope you enjoyed it. There's 3 more songs to go, so remember to subscribe and check the album and let me know if you like it. And yeah, cool. See you on the next one.